from contemporary culture in a lot of ways.
Well, that depends on how far removed you are from contemporary culture. Definitely eyed some chickens in my time.
Yeah.
And,
Hobos do love that chicken.
me and Dwight used to live on the road in the shadows in the bushes. And,
When you're hoboing, how you still do that?
Y'all ever steal any pies off a windowsill?
oh, that's the hobo's holy grail. No comment. No comment. Did make a wonderful short film though. It's called Pie Snatch on YouTube. If anyone's interested in the concept of pie snatching off of windowsills, there's a very short feature, which also features some old music. Frank Ferreira, it's an acoustic recording of On the Beach of Waikiki, recorded in 1919. That's the soundtrack to it. It's a
So
short
look
silent
up Pie
film.
Snatch on YouTube.
Pie Snatch on YouTube. Yeah, it's a wonderful
Make sure you're on YouTube.
2.5 minutes you'll never forget. Yeah, make sure you're on YouTube.
If you wonder what these guys look like too, there's a lot of video out there of Golden Boy Chocolate and the Milk Sheiks.
Some authorized, some unauthorized.
Well, yeah. Well, you're out there on the side of the sidewalk,
Oh, sure, yeah.
There it goes. Anyone, I don't know, whoever wants to jump in, why this music? How did you get into this music? What is it that pulls you in? What's the attraction? Whoever would like to address that.
I think about that a lot. I wonder, because we all love it so much. But I think really the thing is, it just deals with the same kind of stuff we like to. I mean, you know what? It's drinking music. It's party music. It's
Everybody
hard
likes
times
chicken.
music.
Mm-hmm.
It's just honest. It's funny. It's funny music.
Pretty racy. I mean,
We do like some racy music sometimes too.
A lot of it's really sweet and sentimental too, which is maybe not necessarily what we're going to play right now.
That might not be what you find with the milkshake.
But it is. Sure, we do
but
a lot
you
of
could.
We do
We'll
sweet
do
love
we'll do a
songs.
couple of sweet songs tonight.
Yeah, tonight at the Grey Eagle.
But we'll do one sweet song later on. But
well, let me ask you this, because I think there seems to be a resurgence in really like pre-war music. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I meet people and younger people who are like, yeah. Well, I wonder, do you know why? Do you have any theories as to why? Like, why are people in their 20s and 30s tapping into this
It's
stuff?
the stuff that dreams are made of. It's the best music that was ever recorded, and I think it's the greatest legacy America has to offer the planet. Is how I feel about it. And when you say this music, like we listen to Hawaiian music from the 1920s, we listen to jazz, we listen to popular music. It's not just country and blues. We listen to all kinds of things. We listen to popular music from the teens, you know. We were listening to Polk Miller yesterday, was a Confederate soldier.
I guess that is like 50 years worth of music there. To some people, it might all sound the same, but yeah. And I think the technology now. I mean, you can look all this stuff up on YouTube. You can learn to play it on guitar without buying a record or knowing some prodigy that plays the blues or something. You know, I mean, that's just how it is. You know, but I think there's a culture for it. I mean, there's definitely a culture for. I grew up in a punk rock culture of traveling kids and playing acoustic music about hard times and about drinking and violence, to tell you the truth. I mean, that resonates, I think, with a lot of kids that are on the road, you know, honestly. I mean, and you can't plug a guitar in on a train or under a bridge, so. But, you know, I mean, it's more widespread than that now, too, you know.
If you listen to recordings, you know, after World War II, this slickness comes in. That's the dawn of commercial package slick music, and the music before that war. You know, and I don't know what you call the music you're playing, but that older music is so much more real. You know,
Yeah, it's real, but I think it's just coming from a realer time because it's not like so much of it was definitely calculated and commercialized. Absolutely, you know, whether it was blues or country. Or especially pop music. Like I listened to dance bands and semi-hot white jazz bands of the late 1920s as much as I listened to anything, and that stuff was as pop as it gets. Mm-hmm. For a few years, pop music was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's right.
For about 5 years, that was it.
Well, the thought that some of these guys just went in there and did what they did, and when you listen to that side or you listen to that track on the CD, and it's just amazing. You listen to the Memphis Jug Band. It's just amazing.
With one microphone, and they're not...
Every sound in there, and some engineer got them to sit down at some proximity from the one mic in the room and do it, and they didn't have enough money to sit there all day or for 2 days. They just had to hit it and quit it, you know. And I think that's pretty amazing.
To control the dynamics, so it sounded like...
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, people were playing for keeps. It's like that famous scene in the Buster Keaton, The General, where they burn the bridge down, the big finale scene, It's like, there would be but one take, Like they knew they had one shot at
again,
that thing. It's the same
Exactly.
thing as their one shot, whether they realize the historical context of it or not, That was their shot.
Blind Boy Chocolate and the Milkshakes chatting with us and playing music today live in Studio B. You want to run around the room, introduce yourselves, or introduce each other, or however you want to do it real quick? Who's with us today?
Who wants to do that?
Well, my name is Brody Douglas Hunt, and I am an honorary milk sheik, kind of when I'm around, and I'm around a lot more now. And but I'm not really in the band.
Well, it's more of a gang than a band.
It's more of a gang than a band.
And if you hear all the banjos
That's the
in the
line.
recordings, I think you'll agree. We got Tony Costa over here on guitar. Say hi, Tony.
Hi.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I'm Anton Costa. I play the guitar.
Nice.
This is
Quite well.
the meat and potatoes of the Milk Sheiks here.
The burger and the bun.
That's right. Yep. My name is Nicholas Marshall. My friends call me Nicky the Squirrel. And I play this little staple gun here. It's old Lyon & Healy banjo mandolin. Try to whip some wicked leads on that.
What's the deal on a banjo mandolin? Would that have been a very popular instrument in 1915?
Yes, it would. It was.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's like a mandolin, but it's louder.
It's got the banjo head on it.
Yeah. And at that time, there wasn't any amplification.
So was that what everyone was playing, you think?
There might have been a year or two where it was real hot. There's resonator mandolins as well, like a steel guitar, but a mandolin.
Right.
I just think it's loud, and I don't know if it was a novelty back then. I think it's a novelty now.
Yeah.
But sweet little instrument, well made.
Definitely punches out.
Yeah, it punches out. There's no other way to get that sound.
Yeah, before you had, the jazz band, Les Paul. Before Les Paul, let's just say that, you had to have something louder than a guitar to play the rhythm in a jazz band, you know. So, but they had mandolin orchestras and banjo orchestras, God forbid.
You hear those things a lot in the jug band recordings,
Yeah, you hear them a lot in the jug band recordings, absolutely.
It's also visually, and I should say this about everyone in the band. The visual component is really cool, the instruments.
Yeah.
Well, we're luckily, all three of us have nice old instruments from the 1920s, and I guess Dwight too.
The guitar, and we're kind of going backwards now, but tell us about that. That's an old guitar you're playing.
Yeah, it's actually a Regal.
It's a nice instrument
that I got from somebody on Craigslist, and it's definitely had some work done on it, but it has a nice, really loud.
How old do you know the story?
I've been told 1930.
Yeah.
Late 20s. And, yeah.
Does it keep in tune?
It's got intonation issues.
I just sensed that looking over
Sounds
there.
great.
Last time
the
I
tuners
was on the radio, I'll tell you, last time the Milk Sheiks were on the radio, I decided to bring an old 1890s Taterbug mandolin with me over to the
Aristocrat.
little radio station over there at over by Earth Fair, and we were playing this tune. Actually, we'll play it for you in just a second. And that little Taterbug just dropped.
Oh, but it was perfect because it was
just
still in
dropped
tune
in
with
tuning.
itself, but it was about a half step lower.
You can
lower
look that
than
up on
everyone else.
YouTube, too. I don't remember the radio station.
It was, I think,
No, let's not.
yeah, let's not.
We have the wash tub bass today. Speaking
The
of
hardware
visual
section.
components, nothing looks better than that. Who's on the bass?
My name is Alex Brady, and this is my wash tub bass. It's basically it's like a 30-gallon bucket with a stick and a string.
People who've never seen this, they're not going to. It's a bucket,
It's
aluminum tub with a stick on it, right?
it's huge.
So-
It's
A trash can.
Where did you went to study for years on that instrument, or?
I picked it up. Actually, my first one that I had, Tony let me borrow. We've been friends since we were beginning at school together, and
It's gym class.
he just. But he just one day was like, "Hey, have you ever messed with one of these before?" And I hadn't. Though I borrowed it and I took it home, and I was listening to a bunch of different music and trying to get the pitch right, and been through a whole bunch of them over the years. And this bucket here, I found a on the porch of a condemned house in Asheville, and it's a galvanized, tempered steel bucket. Sounds
Number 7.
yes, sir.
I recognize that.
Number 7.
Give me points.
You probably stole that from Dennis.
Dennis recognizes it from his yard.
I was going to say. Yeah, we'll get you out the back door after the session.
Number 7. I knew what size.
Again, though, if I'm in 1915 and I'm a traveling musician, I'm not going to the music store and buying fancy gear. You're making your instruments alight.
Yeah, if you have an upright bass, those are pretty difficult to take around with you. So, I mean, this one's been kicked up and down the street, and it's still more or less okay. So,
Yeah, back in the day, a lot of teenagers got in trouble for putting holes in their mama's wash tub.
And you'd have recordings for guys who are playing pocket combs, right, with the tissue paper and so forth. Or we could segue over here. You might be playing on a bones or a saw or something like that, right?
My name is Dwight Hawkins, and I'm playing tenor banjo, the bones, and the handsaw here today for you. It's a pretty standard handsaw.
Again, people who have never seen this don't know what you're talking about. It's a carpenter saw, right? And you bowl it.
It's actually, I use anything between 26 and or 24 and 36 inches because you get good tone and enough scales out of it. Anything shorter than 24, really, you only get this high pitch, and you can still hit all the notes, but
it's a really eerie, weird sound it makes, too, isn't it?
Sometimes.
You want to just give us a sample of it real quick? I know you're going to play it on
the
another
best saw
tune.
player in 4 counties.
He's the best.
Oh, he's the best saw player in 5 counties, too.
He's the best, maybe one of the best ever to come to this room, too.
He's the only one I've ever
I
cared
very
to
much
listen to.
appreciate it.
Pretty amazing on
I
the
try
saw.
very hard to do my best at everything. This is a Finnish waltz called Metsäkuki. I'll just play a little bit of it.
There you go. Dwight on the saw.
Besides that, the bones are rib bones. Some of them are made of wood, but they're still shaped, and you play them with opposing concaves in your palm. Today I'm playing 4 sets, 2 sets in each hand, and you can whittle your own. It's I call the fiddle the poor man. I call the saw the poor man's fiddle, and the bones are another traditional instrument, but non-traditional instrument. They don't necessarily hear a whole lot nowadays, but its application dates long ways back to even Chinese culture, like thousands of years ago.
Sure.
And it's also repeated in African cultures, and you can get into playing polyrhythms and all sorts of things with a good set of bones. And then, like I said, it's a tenor banjo, and I sing a little bit.
Yeah. So we heard the bones on the last song. I think you're getting ready to pick up the banjo on this next tune, and then maybe the saw on the last piece.
Actually, I think, what's the next
What are we
one?
doing?
Let's do Georgia Kent, huh?
This one, I believe, I'll be playing saw, but I'll try and
Okay.
let you
This
know
one's
the
straight
bones
from the
tune
ice
before
cream
we get
truck,
out of here.
I believe.
And if
Yeah.
we got enough time,
So we'll hear the
couple
saw on
more.
this tune, and it is again the Bumbo Chocolate and the Milk Sheiks playing live today. They're up in Nashville tonight. Tell me again, I don't think I had this written down. Who's on the bill with you guys tonight? It's
The Crowquill Night Owls out of Port Townsend, Washington. And they play jazz, blues, and ragtime music, and they're all amazing, super fun folks that we've toured with a number of times. And Jesse Caroline and the Hot Mess, who's just amazing. They've got some brass, maybe a little piano tonight, and they're just spectacular hot jazz. Get you moving and dancing, keep you warm.
cool. Again, we are live in Studio B. It is Blind Boy